inside for Albert. Albert will get the score. Fiddler, it's farewell. He tapped into a legend and probably rugby league immortality. That's not a try, that's a miracle.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast. We've got the round 13 team list that have just dropped. Obviously guys, State of Origin coming your way tomorrow night. So there will be carnage over the weekend with team lists and whatnot. Tends to be after game one. The majority of guys do back up. It tends to be after game 2 and 3 where they start to look elsewhere. I think most guys will back up this weekend, but worth taking note as we get closer. Stay tuned, especially from a Supercoach point of view, betting point of view, all those sorts of things. 8 p.m. tonight, we've got our official State of Origin Game 1 preview for Rugby League Guru. So stay tuned for that. That'll be live on the podcast and on YouTube 8 p.m. tonight for you guys to consume, and it'll be there in the morning for you to take in as well. Round 13 team list. My God, Mandu, it is moving quickly. That puts us almost at the halfway point of the season.
Crazy.
Wild.
Crazy. It's flying, but at the same time, a lot's happened, so it makes sense.
And there's a lot more to come too. A lot more to come.
And speaking of what's to come, let's get into
the game. It wasn't
our
best timing, was it?
No.
We sort of missed the mark a little bit. You can't win them all. That's fine. We'll get it sorted. We will bounce back. No Thursday night game.
No.
We've actually got the Women's State of Origin, which will be a cracker. Obviously not a decider, a dead rubber, that one. But really looking forward to that game, Kathmandu. Quick tip for that one. I tipped against Queensland last time and got crucified for it.
How did that go for you?
Yeah, it didn't go well. I mean, did it not go well for me? Who won?
Okay.
My team won.
Still.
So fuck all of you. I'm going to go New South Wales in the whitewash. What are you doing?
I'm doing the exact same.
Of course you are. Take me to Friday night. What do we got?
All right, Friday, 7:30 p.m. We have the first regular game of the weekend. We've got the Dragons taking on the Knights at Jubilee Stadium. Talk us through this one.
So the Dragons, Tuipulotu returns on the left wing. Good to see. Leilua obviously starting on the edge. We have the injury to Dylan Egan, ruling him out for the season. So Leilua will start on that edge. Hamish Stewart in jersey 13. Big news for the Dragons is Couchman. He returns on the bench. So a big in for the St. George Illawarra Dragons there. For the Newcastle Knights, KP has been named at fullback. Sharp moves back to 6. Gamble will wear jersey 7. Leo Thompson returns from gastro, I believe, last week. Thoughts and prayers. We've all been there. It sucks. Frizzell also lines up in the front row with him and Matty Croker in jersey 13. Just a reminder too, guys, when it comes to Origin players, pretty much they've all been named for this weekend. So if I don't mention them, just assume they have been named for the rest of the weekend. Super Saturday, Kat, talk to me.
Super Saturday starts with the Titans taking on the Melbourne Storm at Seabus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast.
Not really much to touch on here. Kieran Foran, he's in the 14 jersey. Arlick comes onto the bench. Pahulu obviously leaving the club this week. For the Melbourne Storm, Suarez on the wing, Anderson's at centre. No huge changes. All Origin players have been named. So yeah, not much doing there in that game. Next one, Mando.
Saturday, 5:30 p.m. We're still on Super Saturday. We have the Cowboys taking on the Tigers up home at Queensland Country Bank Stadium in Townsville.
I'll tell you what, these two clubs over the last 3 or 4 years have had some absolute cracking clashes.
Haven't
There's
they?
Been big point scoring games. Doesn't matter where they are on the ladder or what's going on. They've been cracking games over the last year. So I'm looking forward to this one. For the Cowboys, Origin players named. Purdue is still at 5'8". Still no sign of Jason Taumalolo. For the Tigers, obviously, Lockie Galvin he's about to leave the club apparently. So Heath Mason has been named at 5'8". Brett Naden's on the bench in jersey 14. So Naden and Jack Bird on the bench for the West Tigers. A little bit interesting. But the big news there, Heath Mason into 5'8". Latu Fanu still a few weeks away. So keen to see how Heath Mason goes in the 6 jersey. Late game, Kat.
Late game Saturday, we have the Manly Sea Eagles hosting the Brisbane Broncos at Four Pines Park.
Fuck. No turbo. Really screws my
game.
Supercoach team, as I'm sure it screws a lot of you out there that followed Captain Dickhead into that one. He's been rested this week. Great to see. I play Leo Apoado this week in draft. The week he's playing fullback. You love to see it. Tommy Talau also comes in on the wing to replace Leo and moves to fullback. DCE been named in the 7. Aloye at prop. No sign of Gerbo. We do get a Burbo though. And Jazz Tavanga gets another opportunity in jersey 13, getting through a fuckload of work there at the moment. For the Broncos, no sign of Reece Walsh, but the big call here is Cobbo to the wing, Jesse Arthurs to fullback. Now, we sort of spoke about this on Bloke 2 weeks ago, that we thought Arthurs was a really good shot. I think this will be a really good move for the Broncos. Keep an eye on Jesse Arthurs to run close to 250, 300 metres in this one. He's going to work his ass off, and I think it's a good decision for the side. Sunday, Kat, talk to me.
Sunday, the action kicks off with the Rabbitohs hosting the Warriors at Accor Stadium at 2 p.m.
For the Bunnies, nothing to really talk about here, guys. They are essentially the same side that's been named for their game last week or the week before. You didn't play this week. You had a bye,
we had a
didn't
bye
you?
last week.
Before. Essentially the same side. There's no big ins for the South Sydney Rabbitohs. No one overly notable from memory on the extended. So Rabbitohs are what they are. For the Warriors, Rocco Berry returns at centre. Leia Tower out of this side. Fish and Barnett return at prop. And Capewell and Niokore on the edges again. Leka Halasima dropped to the bench. Very interesting one there. I wouldn't be surprised to see a late change, but with Berry back, maybe they are just the edges that they'll run with. So interesting there by Webby. I thought that Leka, I thought he got dominated in a few moments last weekend, so maybe he is just swinging the sword. I think it'll be better for the young kid in the long term. Late game cap, Battle of the West.
Yeah, we have the 4:05 p.m. kickoff at CommBank Stadium between the Panthers and the Eels. This is a nice little CommBank Stadium rivalry as well.
So for the Penrith Panthers, Jenkins moves to the wing. Tungo moves back to the centres with Casey McLean and Brian Tott will be on the other wing. So Alamotti's on the extended. We did report in the Roo Crew last week that Alamotti was a good chance to be ruled out. He ended up playing, but I think you could tell he wasn't 100%. It doesn't shock me at all to see him on the extended this week. He could still play, but I think they're monitoring him. And as we reported last week, he was very close to getting ruled out of that game last week. So he'll be on the extended. Scott Sorensen returns on the edge. Mitch Kenny at 9. Luke Summerton on the bench along with Hassett, Patea and Eisenhuth. That will be the bench for the Penrith Panthers there. As we said, Alamotti on the extended. Watch this space. For the Parramatta Eels, Kelma, he has been named on the edge. Jack Williams tends to start out there, then shift into the middle later. And shout out to Joash I wouldn't say Papali, who's held on to his spot. Very good to see. Obviously made his debut last week, got injected into the game, I think 90 seconds into it or something like that. Went the distance and played very well, so holds on to his spot on the bench. Very, very good to see. Late game, Kat.
Late game, we round out all of the action for round 13 with a team that I have actually really been enjoying watching, and that is the Canberra Raiders, who take on the Roosters at home at Allianz Stadium.
Yeah, the Roosters. Nothing enormous here that changes. Obviously, they get their origin players back. Toya, he comes back into the centres, which means that Marky Mark, he goes back to the wing, Nawanga Nitawase, which means that Dom Young drops out of the side. For the Raiders, no changes for them either. The only thing about the Raiders is that obviously Tom Starling is out. Now, just let me have a look. I didn't actually write this down in my notes, but Tom Starling is out. So, yeah, we get our first look at my boy Owen Paddy in jersey 9, which is very, very exciting. Danny Levi comes onto the bench in jersey 14. Outside of that, no major changes for the Raiders. But, yeah, Owen Paddy first. Look at him as a starting 9. Hopefully he gets to run out for 50 or 60 minutes there. Very, very exciting. Can't believe I left that out of my notes.
Crazy.
Barney Rubble.
You wouldn't think that you were
stuff.
Owen Paddy's biggest fan.
Yeah, might have my eyes on Origin this week. You never quite know. All right, guys, are they your team lists? Now, a little bit later tonight, guys, we have got our Origin preview coming your way for Game 1. About an hour, Kat?
Exactly an hour.
Hour on the dot. That's 60 minutes for those playing at home. That'll be live at 8 p.m. tonight, which means it'll finish at around about 9 p.m., given that 60-minute slot.
Oh, please.
You like that, Kat?
Please,
quick
move
maths.
on.
Coming your way on YouTube and on the podcast tonight, 8 p.m. Make sure you go check it out, our Origin 1 preview. Beers and break-evens will be dropping at some point tomorrow. I'm going to guess around about midday, but we'll see how we go. A bit of a clusterfuck with Origin. And then Sowie's going to be joining us on Thursday for the Take the Two. We're going to go through the Origin game on Wednesday night. I'm going to give my live reaction straight after the game, so you'll have too much of my shit to listen to over the next 4 days, but that's the general schedule of how it's going to look. So plenty coming your way over the next few days on the Rugby League Guru Podcast.